All right, I'm gonna just let you focus on that for just a second. See if you can tell what's going on in that painting. Oh, this is beautiful. Notice a few things. What's going on? Do you see people or animals anywhere? What's going on in the foreground? The foreground is usually the bottom. That seems like it would be closest to you. You see some teepees back here? You see some horses? You might even see a tripod, like a camera set up here. What's going on in the middle ground? The middle ground, of course, is the middle area. Do you see a waterfall? And let's look at the background. The background is usually the part that's farthest away, up here. You'll see some very pointy, jagged mountains. All right, the title of this painting is called The Rocky Mountains, Lander's Peak. And so as you've maybe studied in geography, the Rocky Mountains are the mountains in our country that are located more out towards the west. And those mountains are notoriously sharp and jagged and very high and pointy. And that's a little different from the Appalachian Mountains, which are on the eastern side of our country. And you may have learned that those are more rounded. They're not so jagged. They've been worn down by centuries of wind and rain. And so the jagged Rocky Mountains, Lander's Peak, you'll see that the artist, Albert Bierstadt, was very good at making sure those looked pointy and jagged. Now, Mr. Bierstadt was a person who painted in the style called the Hudson River School of Painting. Now, it wasn't an actual school. It was a way of painting. It was a kind of a style of painting where they made beautiful, glowing landscapes of the American frontier. And so you'll see that when you look at paintings from that kind of style, that it has this glowing kind of like a sunset or sunrise type of glowing effect. And it looks almost like better than real life, if that's possible. Sometimes paintings, they look really realistic. Like the artists who did that kind of style were very good at painting realistically. Like it looks almost like a photograph, but it actually looks almost better than a photograph. And we call that romanticized. It's a little bit better than reality. Just finding the perfect way of lighting everything up in a way that glows is definitely something that you'll notice when I show you all sorts of paintings from that style. This was painted in 1863. So that was actually right during the Civil War. And cameras were very new at this point. It was those, I remember I taught you about the camera called the daguerreotype, and they had to use all sorts of chemicals, and it took a long time for the picture to actually engrave itself into the copper plate. It's just very technical. But Albert Bierstadt had a camera with him, and he would take pictures, and then he would use those to help him make his paintings. So I just thought that was kind of interesting. I also thought that the fact that this included a native tribe was interesting because we are continuing our work on the Native Bear project. And so I just thought you'd like to see this one from the Hudson River School of Painting. I want to take a minute today to tell you a little bit more about the artist of the painting we were looking at. His name was Albert Bierstadt. And I want to show you a couple more of his paintings and just give you a little more information. So he was an immigrant. He was born in Germany, and he was only about 2 years old when his family moved from Germany to Massachusetts. And then it was in 1857 when he joined an overland survey expedition, which allowed him to travel westward across the country. So in other words, as the frontier of America was moving towards the west, as people started exploring the country to the west, Albert Bierstadt was one of the people that went along on some of those expeditions. Here are a couple of his paintings. This one is called the Oregon Trail, so over here on the left. And as I was saying before, you can really see the beautiful glowing light in this painting. It's called luminism, when a painter really emphasizes the glowing light. So that was part of the style of the Hudson River School of Painting. And as I said before, it's almost like it's better than real, like it just gives it this really amazing kind of quality that looks almost made up. Here's one called the Wind River Country 1. Bierstadt was known for his large landscapes of the American West and was the foremost painter of these scenes for the remainder of the 19th century. Do you recognize an animal in here that we have talked about in regards to the Native Americans? Yes, the bison or the buffalo. Because of Bierstadt's interest in mountain landscapes, Mount Bierstadt in Colorado is named in his honor. Another Colorado mountain was originally named Mount Rosa after his wife, but it was later renamed Mount Evans after Colorado Governor John Evans. In 1998, the United States Postal Service issued a set of 20 commemorative stamps entitled 4 Centuries of American Art, one of which, Albert Bierstadt's The Last of the Buffalo, was pictured. So that's this one right here. Few more works by Albert Bierstadt. I think this one right here is one of my favorites. I've seen that one before. It almost looks like if you walked into this area between these mountains, that you'd be entering into heaven or something amazing, something magical, because of that glowing light over here and the way that he made it reflect off of the clouds up here. It's just gorgeous. So those were a few more paintings I wanted to show you.